Hey, Ruskin enjoyers, hope you're right, because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins in the current Rust store, make comparisons to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much each of these skins are likely to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back and relax, I'm going to start yapping. So, first 24 hours of sales, initially, well, I thought the No Mercy gloves weren't really selling too much, but evidently, yeah, they did sell quite a bit. But do not forget, with this whole Rust store, no abnormals this week. This was a super late Rust store, and, well, considering the strange acceptance time, the strange Rust rotation time, well, maybe that might have had an impact on the sales. I mean, we'll discuss that a little bit more. But could I just quickly point out, I'm actually recording this like an hour and a bit earlier. So by the end of, by the time I've wrapped up yapping, it'll actually be 47 hours. I just didn't want to stay all the way up later and still keep yapping at this time. I've got other people living here and just pointing out. So anyway, you get the point. So anyway, with the first 24 hours of sales, I did question, do people even need to consider the No Mercy tactical gloves? Like, considering for December 2025 for Trust and Rust, we saw Hedge giving away those brand new Twitch tactical gloves for absolutely free. Everybody got them for absolutely free, but they look exactly the same as the No Mercy tactical gloves. And, well, I actually went ahead and did a nice comparison. A short video is right there, so if you go see for yourself, if you know, is there even that much of a difference? Do you honestly need to spend $2.49 on those No Mercy gloves? Consider giving that a good watch. And, well, back over to here. Perhaps it might slow down, or perhaps people will appreciate it. I'm sure a lot of people do want to have a nice, full, complete collection. I'm sure a lot of people who like to roam around in the snow and No Mercy collection would appreciate the tactical gloves because they keep you warm. Road sun gloves make you cold. But I did point out the original skins that came out for No Mercy collection, they didn't really sell that much. And with just one day, technically speaking, those tactical gloves already sold more than the hoodie and pants. So, alright, we'll talk more about that in a bit. Neon loot room door actually selling quite a lot. Kind of surprised by that. I mean, by all means, it's a fun, silly design. But are you actually going to use it effectively? Or is it just going to end up like all the other neon garage doors? Oh, that might be a bit of a problem. So, okay, fair enough. Juggernaut sheet metal double door. Not selling as much compared to what we saw with the gingerbread sheet metal double door. Which, okay. That makes it sound a whole lot more appealing. That probably will, you know, might be working out quite nice, quite right. So, yeah, I do mention it here. So, okay, overall, things were shaping up a lot more calmer compared to the previous week. But, if I could just switch over to here, how's everything currently holding up right now? So, just to quickly refresh and point out, yep, we're up to date at the moment. As you'll see over to there, about 47 hours in, No Mercy Tactical Gloves with only 15,000 subscribers. Now, I will sit here and say, I tested this out earlier. I waited 1 hour. I kept track of the sales and whatnot. Every hour, it appears currently, we see between 100 to 200 extra subscribers. So when it's the 48 hours, that'll probably be sitting there with about 15,400 subscribers, maybe a little bit more. So I don't think it's too bad to record just a little bit earlier, but I do apologise regardless. So, okay. If we're expecting a calmer week compared to the previous week, perhaps some of these skins could actually work out quite nicely. When I did my predictions video, and, well, you know, just to quickly remind all of you, if you want to get a good look at all these brand new skins, consider watching my Rust rotation video. Everything's chaptered, as you can see right there. But I kind of noticed it initially, and I also mentioned it in the predictions video. I said, you know what, based on what I've seen in the past, black backpacks actually work out very nicely. And considering, you know, this is slotting into a complete collection that's actually doing very nicely at the moment, like, I think that was actually looking to be the best investment for the week. And then over to here, Dragonhorn sleeping bag. I looked at all the recent glow-in-the-dark sleeping bags that went to do with holidays and whatnot. Well, all the glow-in-the-dark sleeping bags are also doing very nicely. So I looked at these and thought, well, you know what? If they don't sell too much, things should probably be quite all right. Should be pretty sweet. I can confirm to you right now, they really aren't selling that much. Almost 2 days in, and they still have not surpassed 10,000 subscribers. Okay, well, that might be pretty cool. So, all right. 2 days in, not looking too bad. And just to point out, yes, a lot of people are still playing at the moment. Prices in general for Rust skins are still holding up very nicely. So, all right. How about we go through all these skins and figure out how much each of them are likely to sell by next Thursday. No Mercy Tactical Gloves. So we've done the comparisons. We've yapped about, like, okay, are people actually wanting this? Considering the sales and considering it's the top selling skin so far, I do believe people are wanting them. But I'm kind of second guessing if it's actually going to reach up to 30,000 subscribers. So that's what I said in the tweet. So initially I thought, oh, well, you know, it's selling quite a lot. Maybe it could push up to 30,000. I don't think it'll be doing that now. It was a bit of a struggle though, like what could I even compare to? And I thought, you know what, maybe the best thing we could do is probably the cyber gloves. But I'm also kind of considering last week's Hell Corsair, which means that's like 2,000 less. But don't forget, a lot of people wait till the last second to go ahead and buy that SAR, didn't they? So all right then. I'm not sure if we're going to see that many people wait until the last second to jump in to buy these, but I think we could probably compare to those other skins. So, with the previous week, Hell Corsair reached just over 25,000 subscribers, but those tactical gloves, the cyber gloves, where are we? Here, yep, they went over 22,000 subscribers. So, okay, I've made considerations, and I think, you know what, that's probably doing between 22 to 27,000 subscribers. I don't think people are going to go super crazy for this around Thursday. I don't think it's going to reach all the way up to 30,000 subscribers. And now let's, you know, just quickly remind you, if you look at the whole No Mercy collection, initially we've got the hoodie and pants, then of course we've got the tier 2, then we've got the tier 3, but yep, just under 10,000 subscribers each, just about 15 to 18,000 subscribers, and then with the tier 3 right there, well, just around 20,000 subscribers. So hoodie and pants being the most expensive pieces in the full set, not too surprising. But then we look at the road sign gloves here. Oh dear, 35,000 subscribers. Uh-oh. So most likely partly due to the reason why it's down in price. Again, it's a white set, but that'll make you cold. Not a good combination, so that's been suffering. But this right here, well, at the moment, you do look like you're going to sell quite a fair bit less in comparison to the road sign gloves, but still quite a bit more in comparisons like the, well, tier 3, for example, the tier 2. But if it does end up around 22,000 subscribers, you know what? That might be a pretty interesting thing to chase after. But again, no abnormals this week. Big problem. Oh dear, oh dear. So, I've been thinking about it, and I think, you know what? Maybe we will be better off with a Balder. 22 to 27,000 subscribers. We are expecting, over the course of the next several weeks, prices are going to go back down again, of course, you know, with the Easter dip, March and April time. But what do you reckon around the summertime? Do you reckon people will warm up to it and the price will go up? 27,000 subscribers isn't really that much. But, yeah, we'll see. So, right, No Mercy Tactical Gloves. Keep an eye out for it. Wednesday night, we'll discuss the sales it has, and of course, we'll question if we actually want to jump in and buy some. I think long term, at the moment, it does look quite appealing. Neon Loot Room Garage Door. So, again, just to quickly point this out to you, with the Neon collection, you might recall we've had some garage doors in the past. I will sit here and say the exit door was bought out, but it didn't last. Now, is it actually doing better right now? Let's go ahead and find... No. No. So the most recent garage door we got for this Neon collection was the Neon Farm door. That went as low as about half its price. Right now it's only down by a third of its price only. So I don't think people actually care about the garage doors. Yeah, you might sit and say, but it's improving now. Well, yeah, because we've got a new one. Are we always going to see a new one? I don't think so. And I'm not sure if Duck actually has any more left, because that was technically like a super late pick. So I'm kind of second guessing it. Also, right now, second best-selling skin. Let's also just point out, 24,000 subscribers, almost 24,000 subscribers, just over 17,000 subscribers, just under 19,000 subscribers, 25,000 subscribers. And yet, I look at you, how much are you likely to sell? So let's just switch back over to here. Oh, no, here. 9,500. What's the best thing I could probably consider comparing to? I thought maybe compared to the Space Sheet Metal Double Door. A lot of people did jump onto this last week at the last second as well. So I thought, yeah, maybe that might be a better option, you know, rather than the Hell Corsair. So looking over to here, to the previous week, can confirm that went all the way up to just under 20,000 subscribers. Now, looking at its current momentum at the moment with 13,300, or rather, just be a little bit more precise, 13,400, I think that's going to do between 19 to 22,000 subscribers. So that does kind of line up quite nicely in regards to basically, with the other garage doors. But if the other garage doors aren't really doing super great, well, yeah, can't help but assume the behaviour is going to happen all over again. And Tez, I'll talk about that at the very end. So, all right, keep an eye on it, and by all means, if you want it, if you crave it, if you need it, by all means, buy it for yourself, treat yourself. Buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated to keep putting out nice creative designs in the future. But if you're looking at that as an investment, wait till Wednesday at the very least. We'll still put out a video discussing prices and whatnot. But again, no abnormals this week, so problems, but yeah, we'll see. Sheep made a double door and the Jackhammer. So as of now, the gap between them has grown quite a bit. But initially, as you'll see over to here, they were fairly close. Fairly close, yes. Now, I instantly wanted to do comparisons with like the gingerbread sheep made a double door. Can confirm this is looking to be selling less than that. And of course, you might like sit there and say, oh, well, we literally just got this. Maybe that's the reason why this hasn't sold that much. Well, I also think it's its actual design. I don't think people like the industrial design of Juggernaut. We've noticed that with the garage door and the sheep made a door of the past, but yeah, anyway. So 8,000 subscribers there and just about 7,600 subscribers here. What could we compare to? Well, I thought, you know what, let's go to the previous week. Let's just talk about the volcanic rug. All right, yeah, volcanic rug's probably a pretty good shout. So over to here, we take a look at the previous week. And what do we see? 17,869 subscribers. So with the sheep made a double door and the Jackhammer, I think they're going to do between 17 to 20,000 subscribers. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Juggernaut sheep made a double door probably does get a decent amount of people waiting until the last second. A lot of people are fully well aware it has transparency, and of course it glows in the dark as well. But is everybody here aware that if you actually look at its design, if you look in the bottom left, that is actually transparent as well? So when you kneel down and look down, you can see through that. But if you position it at a high level, if you want to have like a jump up, you can see upwards as well. So I think a lot of people actually grow to appreciate something like this. I have put some short videos out showcasing that little detail. But yes, you can see through that, and you can kind of see through it right there, okay? But I don't think everybody's aware of it. So if that catches on, oh yeah, I think that sheep made a double door will probably be gaining traction and working out quite nicely in the future. But let's also just point out, if that was to do between 17 to 20,000 subscribers, how does it hold up in comparison to all the other sheep made a double doors? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Subscriber count, please. All right then. So with the previous week, this got close to 20,000 subscribers. I can confirm to you, it's top 10. Top 10 highest ever selling. But do you notice something? Oh, hang on a minute. It's pretty much all in the green. Yeah. Sheep made a double doors tend to be very reliable. So if I could also just look at something. I know for a fact that like the sunken door collection. Take a look at this. I typed it badly, sorry. Sunken door collection. I know that those other doors are down real bad, but you're doing good. What else is there that I'm aware of? Like, what's another collection where it's not holding up very nicely, but the sheep made a double door's doing all right? Oasis. Yep, we just had that last week. So I just looked at that last week and I noticed that, hang on a minute, that's not exactly very in demand, is it? We're kind of worried about the locker. But that sheep made a double door has been holding up very, very nicely. There's quite a lot of collections like this, deplorable collections, where the other skin's not really looking too good, but the sheep made a double door, perfectly fine. So if you're worried about, well, there's other options, there's other transparent designs, to be honest with you, would you be upset if it only went up by about 50 cents? Probably, yeah, but, you know, if it still ended up being a little bit of a profit, would you still be all right? Yeah. And again, if you're looking for a nice option to consider buying this week so that you can continue selling Ruskins like I am, then honestly, not too bad of a shout. So if it does end up with about 20,000 subscribers, yeah, in the near future, it might dip a little bit. But in the summertime, post-Christmas next year, I do believe people will be appreciating it. I do believe it will slowly gain traction and will be appreciated. So, okay, cool. Jackhammer, well, to be honest with you, it's a perfectly fine design. In theory, you might look at the workshop page and think, wow, that's like a very white-looking jackhammer. In-game, not really. But yep, you can see that. Looking fine. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, if we do happen to see a lot more jackhammers this year, and as of recent, that's kind of been a thing, hasn't it? Well, okay, maybe it might get lost in the shuffle. We shall see. But 17 to 20,000 subscribers. That is quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. Well, here's hoping we end up with about 3 or less this year, because that'll definitely help this out ever so nicely. But another space theme skin is accepted. Interesting. I mean, not sure if the other space theme skins being accepted is going to give really give this a bit of a boost. If anything, it's just deplorables, but we'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, Asteroid Breaker Jackhammer. I wouldn't be surprised if you're the one that ends up with like 17,000 subscribers. Have you used it? Do you like it? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, I mean, it's just more of a case of with a lack of Jackhammer skins, that could work out nicely. So keep an eye on it, all right? So now we're going to group up the AK-47, the Thompson, the Armored Door, and the the Odyssey combat knife. I can't read my own writing. Anyway, let's just refresh. Right, so I can confirm to you the Thunder Gold Thompson has now eclipsed the AK-47. Interesting. But over to here, as you'll see, AK-47 6,666. Oh, well, that's pretty funny. Thunder Gold Thompson was only slightly below it. And then slightly below that, we also happen to have the Glacial Visage Armored Door. And then quite a fair bit lower than that, we had the Odyssey Combat Knife. I looked at all of these skins and I thought, you know what? I reckon we want to go literally just to the previous week and just look at the hammer. The hammer here had about 6,400 subscribers. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do the comparison. Let's just go see how much that sold by the end of its 7-day tenure. And it's 15,000 subscribers. So looking at the AK-47, the Thompson, the Armored Door, and of course, the Odyssey Combat Knife. Well, I think they're all going to do between 14 to 16,000 subscribers. Now, with the Thunder Gold Thompson, Thunder Gold Collection has been doing very nicely at the moment. I mean, most of it's in the green. Where could you go wrong? So, during the good times, this goes up very nicely. Acknowledge. But also acknowledge, fairly recently, the Thunder Gold MP5 came out. It didn't really hold up very nicely. It had problems instantly. But this very likely could sell less compared to the MP5. Although, no guarantees as of yet. When I first saw this, I did also mention the fact that, if you were to compare it to all the other white Thompsons of the past, maybe this has a pretty good shot. But don't forget, a lot of people did get the Dylan Zito Thompson for absolutely free. So I will reference the Constructed Thompson and mostly white design. People seem to appreciate that. Quarantine Thompson, white and black. Scroll. I'll also mention the No Mercy Thompson, and I'll also mention the Glory Thompson. So lots of white Thompsons that exist, but as of now, that's probably the most approachable one in terms of the amount of white we get, the gold trim we get. So that's looking pretty sweet. That is holding up quite nicely, but I kind of would be surprised if the behaviour is going to be like fairly similar based on what we just saw in the MP5. When times are bad, yeah, I do kind of expect it to drop off a little bit, but only like 20%, aka about 50 cents. So maybe a smart buy around $2 might be the way we go about it. We'll see how that goes. AK-47, well, looks like you got eclipsed, but give it a few days, you might, jump back in. So this is a golden AK-47. A lot of people are like trying to rare this up, big it up. But let me just remind you, we have had golden AK-47s in the past. So I'll just go back 2 years. You might recall with the Dragon. Come on, load it up. It's taking its time, don't worry. Come on. There we go. Right, so just want to remind you, we've had the Nikov Twitch drop. We've had the Medieval AK-47. We've also got this very perfectly fine, nice looking, scroll. Don't forget the Augusta Bell AK-47. Mythical Dragon. Mythical Dragon is a perfectly fine golden design with some gemstones bejeweled in it. Yes. So right now, this is sitting here on the Steam market at like $1.30. Let's just confirm that. And yeah, $1.30. So don't sit there and say, oh, it's gold, it has to be appreciated. No. There's other options out there. And I'll be honest with you, Gold Chains AK-47 isn't that like shiny. It isn't that like fascinating and gold and whatnot. Like it's part of a well-established golden collection. It's just the AK-47 itself, as I looked at it, and again, you could go see for yourself if you consider watching my rust rotation video. It just didn't look that shiny or impressively golden to me, I guess you could say. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing, but if you see it for yourself, you'll be like, oh, okay then. Standard sight. It's basically a standard AK-47, and because of that, if it's just like a standard AK, The standard AK that comes out typically just goes down in price. So that's not looking or sounding very nice, is it? No. So we'll see what becomes of that. 14 to 16,000 subscribers. It's not an absurd amount. But I'm also not feeling very confident. So, yeah. Glacial Visage Armored Door. Let's remind you, super late pick. Face punch fished around to go find an armored door, which kind of has me worried, thinking we'll see even more armored doors in 2026. They have been actively, searching for these. And of course, as of recent, I should point out, take your time, that's holding up quite nicely, but all the space theme skins do just kind of work out very nicely in comparison and being paired up with each other, so that's nice to see. Blocky Silo, though, down 25%. Dragonhorn, down 23%. Grinning Area, down 11%. Oh, dear, oh, dear. So, that does light up very nicely during the dark. It's super noticeable, especially from quite a distance. But I can't help but assume you're likely going to suffer. Again, if that's going to probably do between 14 to 16,000 subscribers, what I want to do is compare it to all the other ones, figure out their high subscribers. There you go. Right. So I could just look at all of these armored doors. I mean, it'll probably be in the upper half, not too ridiculous and whatnot. But yeah, I'm kind of expecting more armored doors, and I wouldn't be surprised if that suffers. Now, is it going to crash and burn? I hope not. But I might only go about halfway with the buy orders. If the skin creator feels reinvigorated and wants to jump back in again, I look forward to the idea of it. But he has to kind of make his presence known. So we'll see. All right, so keep an eye out for that. Looking good, but still questioning it. Odyssey Combat Knife. All I have to sit here and say is next week and the week after that, we do expect more combat knife skins to be accepted. If you've been looking on the workshop, a lot of them have been submitted. It's a glow-in-the-dark design as well. I'm not sure if people actively want to have a glow-in-the-dark combat knife. The only other one that exists did come out quite some time back, and if you go see for yourself, you'll notice that it's the Combat Knife from Hell, and it's up to $22. Okay, well then, but I'm not sure if that's going to emulate the behaviour. So not selling ridiculously, but also if we're going to see more options appearing, and also considering there's another one right there, I'm kind of second guessing it, so a little bit worried. We'll see how that goes. Next up, locker and backpack. So this locker, very nice looking space theme design, and with that appearing today, very likely led the previous space theme deplorable skins, the doors Sparkling 1, Sparkling Price, ever so nice. So whilst they're all made by different skin creators, the fact that we're seeing more of this theme is leading those previous skins to be rising up ever so nicely. So as I look at this locker, very nice glow-in-the-dark design, as you can see for yourself, but over to here. You will see with your own eyes that this only had about 6,000 subscribers and the backpack had about 5,800. So what we're comparing to? I thought we could go back quite a fair bit. I think we could compare to the Tempered Handmade NMG, which had about 5,900 subscribers. So let's go back a little bit. Let's go to January 1st, 2026. Where is it? There it is. 14,000 subscribers. So I feel like that's in the upper end. I think, looking at the locker right now and the backpack, I think what I'm going to say is 12 to 14,000 subscribers for both of these skins right here. So 8,000 at the moment. Give it time. Wouldn't surprise me if it pushes closer to 14,000. But this right here, keep an eye on this one. At the moment, both of them are very similar to each other, but I kind of would be surprised if a lot of people jump on this at the last second, especially with me talking about this so positively. Other black backpacks that have been accepted somewhat recently have all worked out very nicely. Despite with the incredibly high sales they've had, they have actually worked out very, very nicely. So, yep, this too, this as well. So, this right here, it's walking into a very well-established collection that's actually doing very nicely for itself. I do believe that as time goes on, this will be working out very nicely as well. It's not selling that much. That makes it just look a whole lot more appealing. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon this would be doing quite nicely? If only we had the abnormal barders. So the backpack is actually still looking to be the other thing for the week, the best investment, personally, with what I'm thinking. But don't be surprised if it still struggles for a little bit, doesn't rise up in price that much. Look at it again around the summertime. I'm pretty sure during the summertime that'll be rising up very nicely. Not too ridiculously, though. With the Space Tour locker, though, I wonder if we do continue to see more space theme skins being produced and accepted. I mean, we do have Valentine starting to get in the way. And Lunar New Year is also about to get in the way. So that might lead to some issues. That very likely could put like a full stop on all the space theme skins. Face Punch could be like, no, no more. Holiday stuff now. And then after that, they'll be like, we don't really feel like accepting any more of them. So we'll see what happens there. So, okay. Keep an eye on that. Right then, so the possibility of no more space theme skins could lead to potential issues with the current space theme skins that have been accepted. But how about we go ahead and start talking about the sleeping bag and the Void Venom combat knife. So initially, right, over to here, you'll see that this had just over 5,000 subscribers. This had just under 5,000 subscribers. Or what are we going to compare to? Well, I thought, you know what? If we go back a fair bit, I want to compare to the Training Snow Jacket that had about 5,000 subscribers and the Dominus Mortis Double Barrel Shotgun, which had about 4,500 subscribers. So, if I go learn from that. So, where are we going? How far back do we have to go? A little bit further. There we go. That reached 13,000 subscribers. This reached just under 11,000 subscribers. So, let's go ahead and look at the sleeping bag, the combat knife, and wow, okay. That's only got 7,400 subscribers so far. And again, technically right now we're 47 hours in. I'll just refresh again. Ta-da. So, okay. Well, as I mentioned with all the sleeping bags of the past, the ones that glow in the dark have been rising up in price very nicely as of recent. So, okay. Maybe that does have a pretty interesting future ahead of it. But the actual collection it's a part of, it's not exactly super in demand. Like, it's not holding up very nicely. Maybe the skin creator returns to it. We see more deplorables being made. Maybe we could see a nice resurgence. We shall see. But that is a perfectly fine, nice looking glow in the dark sleeping bag. And I do believe a lot of people will be appreciating that. So, okay. Well, that's only going to do potentially between 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Oh, that's hardly any sales. That is looking pretty interesting. So, all right. Keep an eye on that. That sleeping bag's looking to be a pretty interesting potential investment for the week. A lack of sales definitely could give it a nice boost, especially when it becomes in demand. Around the summertime, I reckon that'll be rising up in price very nicely. But keep an eye out. You never know if we see like a random huge surge of extra sales. So we'll see. With the Void Venom combat knife, honestly, like based on what I said here, same still applies. What happens if we just keep seeing more and more and more combat knife skins being accepted? Well, that's not going to be so special anymore. Let's also just quickly compare to the recent skin that was accepted. Oh, it's already down by 10%. It begins. So, yeah, not feeling super confident with these combat knives, especially with more to be expected and, of course, accepted. So, okay, well, that might still be like a 60 cent to 80 cent barter. We'll see how it goes. But yes, I do believe that's going to probably do between 10 to 12,000 subscribers. Still, even then, I don't really expect that much of it. So, all right. Full SAP and Hellcore L96, two perfectly fine looking weapon designs, but of course they're the lowest selling skins. So let's just switch over to here. Initially, 4,400 and 4,400. What do I want to compare to? I thought, you know what? Let's go back a little bit. Let's go ahead and compare to the Abyss Hatchet and Pickaxe, the Abyss Tools. If I could remind you, this was 23 hours in. Technically speaking, that should still be fine. So if you just added like an extra 200 subscribers in both of these, there would be like 4,000 subscribers, 4,500. So, okay. Looking at these two, let's go ahead and just see how those tools currently are, like how many sales do they have and whatnot. So I look at them, just under 10,000 subscribers and just over 9,000 subscribers. Okay. Well, I think, you know what? Both of these weapons, with how they're currently positioned at 6,000-ish, I think both of them are likely going to do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers. That's not that much, is it? No, not really. So based on what I'm seeing here, SAP, it would be nice to see SAP's, like, if they could return to the way they were in the past. In the past, when times were good, pretty much every single SAP skin went up in price very nicely. But for the past year, we just kept seeing more and more and more and more SAP skins being accepted. That led to issues. Now, it's a very nice shiny gemstone design. Maybe we could see some success, like what we saw with the Deep Ruby set. Although I probably wouldn't I wouldn't just assume everything's going to be alright. But anyway, keep an eye out. Is it unique enough to be appreciated? With a lack of sales, does it only make it look a whole lot more interesting? So, yeah, 9 to 11,000 subscribers. We'll keep an eye out for you. Hellcat L96. I honestly thought that this would be selling quite a bit more. But then again, like its features, it's not that special. Look at the AK now, down by 13%. Look at the SAR, up 20%. Lovely. So, are we going to actually see more weapon skins being made by Deloride, the skin creator, where they have like transparent aim sights and whatnot? MP5 would be pretty, sweet. A revolver, a Python, you get the idea. Not sure. But I kind of like... I'm not sure if people are appreciating L96s at the moment, more specifically the skins, because of course we did have it at, it was the focused item of the month back in November 2025. And it's not looking like it helped out, because that's down a price, that's down a price, that's down a price, that's down a price, and even some of these older skins here, yep, they're down a price as well. So that's not looking very pretty, is it? Nope. So, yeah. We'll see what becomes of those weapons, but I'm starting to have doubts, and I probably wouldn't. I don't think I'll be trying to buy these before the Rustler rotates. I'll probably just try and stick with a Wilder. Do not forget, with no abnormals this week, every single skin that you see here will become marketable at the exact same time. That'll be evening time, Thursday, rolling into Friday morning, UK time, my time. So on Wednesday night, we'll sit here, we'll still figure out prices and whatnot. But on the Thursday, as we see the Rustler rotate, even with the Rustler rotating, these skins will still not be marketable, tradable. It will only happen when it rolls into midnight, all right? Midnight my time. So if you want to be there when it happens, feel free to go ahead and keep an eye out for my Twitch. The link is right there. You're more than welcome to watch me in the future if you so wish. So, all right, cool. And don't forget, with all the expected sales and whatnot, look in the description. You'll see the all the chapters there. They all have like their expectations written down next to them. So yeah, of course, like 22 to 27,000 subscribers for the gloves, it will be linked in the description. Just look at the actual chapters themselves. Right then, so anything else to address? Player count today was very nice, not going to complain about that. But if I could just quickly switch over to here. Ooh. Right now, player count's still good, prices are still good, and yet I've wrapped up my my special 2-month challenge. Since November 16, I wanted to see how many skins I could sell and see how much profits I could potentially make. Well, after 2 months, I've stopped. Right now, January time is post-Christmas, the best time to sell your skins. I think you're going to be very pleasantly surprised to find out how many skins I managed to sell, but also the funds that it raised as well. If right now, lots of people are playing, therefore there's a lot of demand for skins, therefore all prices have gone up in price ever so nicely, well, you can see how much of a difference it made when I obviously went through the process here. So consider giving that video a good watch. I think you might find it pretty interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So anything else I need to address? Well, no, not really. We are aware of a crypt building skin being worked on. Does it include bones? We shall see. Are we actually going to get like a bone barricade? That would be pretty cool. So, all right. But Hedge, honestly, is there anything else? Not really, not that I'm aware of. So, of course, I could go to the workshop right now. You can see Valentine's contest. We have seen a few more Valentine skins being made. But I do believe for this upcoming weekend, the majority of skins being submitted will actually be non-Valentine skins. But in the week after that, do not forget, all Valentine skins have to be submitted by January 27. So, okay. We'll see how that goes. And, well, keep an eye out. Lots of pink and lots of hearts to look forward to. Yummy! So, all right. Cool. But I can showcase to you that this is what I've seen so far for the next batch of skins. So, yeah. All right, we'll see how that goes then. So, yeah, that is it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck to each and every single one of you. And, well, just be prepared for March and April time. Prices are expected to suffer again. But I'm sure we're smart enough to survive. So, thank you once again. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.